While preparing for our road trip in China, we had heard about something particularly shocking: the electric vehicle graveyards. Hundreds of brand new electric cars abandoned for mysterious reasons.
So we spent several hours scanning satellite images in search of these famous graveyards. We read dozens of articles to learn more and tried to find even just one, but nothing. Everything we found over the years vanished, and we couldn't find any helpful information to locate new ones. We abandoned the project, hoping we might find a graveyard by chance in China. After 3 weeks of travel though, we still hadn't seen any electric car graveyard. But while taking the train to the city of Qingdao completely by chance, I turned my head and saw this.
Hello everyone, this is Gabriel.
And Corentin. Today we'll discuss one of China's most shocking topics, the electric car graveyard scandal.
We really wanted to make this video during our trip, but while planning, it turned out to be more complicated than expected.
We spent hours researching these famous graveyards, but it was impossible to find them because they were always moved, removed, or hidden. Getting any information was impossible.
But in the end, we're lucky, because in this video, we'll explore not one but 2 electric car graveyards, each with its own story.
Obviously, as the video goes on, you'll understand why these electric vehicle graveyards exist, and the reason behind them is sometimes really creepy.
Now we're going to meet an American, and that's it.
Let's go. Nice to meet you.
Hello?
My name is Corentin.
What do we have here? For the first electric car graveyard, we'll stumble upon it by chance while on the train to Qingdao.
So we noted the place where it was happening, and the next day we went there, but we're going to have our first unpleasant surprise.
Indeed, there are people taking care of the electric car graveyard, and we're going to try to talk to them, but they're not at all okay with us filming there. Yeah, there are several people. We got turned away as expected.
We soon realized this area isn't abandoned. It's likely a car dealership. As we leave, we spot something on the horizon and decide to check it out.
We found another path that looks more promising.
This place is now totally abandoned, but we can see cars ahead.
We're right across from where we just talked to people.
So it was pretty strange, because actually it looked like they were starting to recover some of the cars over there.
The story behind these abandoned electric cars is actually quite complex, with various reasons depending on each cemetery.
Apparently for him it looks like he's recovering them little by little, unlike others where, as we'll see, it's really about subsidy scandals and all that.
Yeah, but here the one at the entrance was clean, but in the back, as seen in the drone shots, it was totally different. Those cars were much more damaged and in worse condition with no signs.
There are many electric cars, so all the cars you see here are the same model.
The atmosphere is much more run down. We have direct access to a vacant lot that's pretty overgrown. And on it, there are maybe 100 electric cars that have been completely abandoned.
But at that moment, we're still pretty stressed, because when we talk to the people across from us, well, they can literally see us if they're paying a little attention. So we're going to try to move as quickly as possible and get the shots we want to take.
The atmosphere is really strange. A lot of them have Didi stickers, which is the equivalent of Uber in China, and there are hundreds of them. And actually, what's also weird is how easy it is to access this area. Meanwhile, across the street, we were told to leave and not film. They're looking at us strangely, huh?
You'll see it in this video. There are 2 main reasons for these electric vehicle graveyards. The first is the very rapid obsolescence of electric cars that were mass-produced to benefit from government subsidies. They're quickly abandoned since they're unreliable and not durable.
The second, equally shocking reason is fake sales. Some electric car companies, including luxury brands, abandon vehicles while claiming they've been sold. All of this is done to inflate their sales figures and get more money through subsidies.
And in this first graveyard that we find, we're going to be dealing with the first reason. You should know that in China, there are really hundreds of electric car graveyards with thousands of abandoned vehicles. It's pretty terrifying, and on top of that, they're all electric. Look at how it was parked. They really crashed into it, huh? Over there, they actually parked them by crashing into the cars.
While walking among the abandoned cars, we quickly noticed many were used for ride-hailing services, especially Didi, China's version of Uber. And we'll notice that most of the cars have already been used, they've already been driven, and we'll be able to see personal belongings inside that belong to the former drivers.
To clarify what you're seeing, we'll briefly explain the problem with these electric cars. China is now the largest electric vehicle market in the world, far ahead thanks to massive subsidies for electric vehicle companies, ride-hailing companies, and individuals. These favorable measures have led to record production, with millions of electric vehicles made in just a few years.
But this problem is due to one thing: the generous subsidies granted by the government. Many companies quickly emerged to mass-produce these vehicles, motivated by the lure of profit. This caused a rush to produce cars that often didn't last and were removed from service within months or years.
And that's exactly what we see in the junkyard we're exploring today. All these cars belong to a ride-hailing company, Didi, and we can see from the stickers displayed on the windshields that some of them have been used for no more than 2 or 3 years.
And as we explore, obviously the stress keeps rising, because every minute we spend there is another minute when the police could show up at any moment. We're going to find a car we can open because we're curious about its interior condition.
So, we were talking about these massive subsidies given by the government, which many companies have benefited from, like Didi, for example. And that caused a problem because, for example, this company ended up with an entire fleet of defective vehicles, expensive to maintain and impossible to resell. Thousands of these cars end up abandoned in graveyards we're exploring today, worsening existing environmental problems.
The worst part is, most of these abandoned vehicles are just waiting to be shipped and resold to other countries. While China is experiencing problems related to these unreliable cars, outdated software, and so on. We're about to try opening a car and are ready to run if an alarm goes off, since that could get us spotted by the guy from earlier. The security system is manual. You think there's a key in the ignition? Oh no, it's a push button.
They can't start it without the key, but what do you think of the interior?
It's large, open and musty, but otherwise in perfect shape. It's surprising. How much is a car like this worth? 10 or 20,000 euros?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, and
In France, that's worth 40.
it's brand new pretty much. I'm shocked.
Look, the plastic is still on the thing, but you see the car still looks like it's been used.
Yeah, but just a little.
Among the 100 cars in this junkyard, there are obviously some that are unlocked. We're going to have the chance to find one and take a look inside. We realize it's new because the screens still have plastic on them and are turned on.
We were really shocked to be able to do this with this car, but after a few minutes we saw a van arrive at the scene. Not knowing if they had spotted us, we decided to leave as discreetly as possible. We had planned to explore another abandoned cemetery at the end of the trip. Today's video release is especially meaningful to us. And if you're shocked and outraged by what you see, don't hesitate to give a thumbs up and share the video to spread this information.
Look at the sun with all this pollution. It really makes for a weird storm. This one is really recent. Oh, it's opening up. Oh, man. Look, it's lighting up. Oh, man, the smell coming from that car, it's terrifying. Come on, open it.
What's inside?
Open it. Look at the dashboard.
Hey. Is it normal? Is it supposed to be on?
Yes, it's on.
Did you turn it on?
No, I opened it and the dashboard lit up.
But that's so weird.
You see how terrifying the heat in this car is?
It's an oven.
A logo indicates the keys are missing, which is normal, but they still have some battery left.
It's strange that the alarm isn't going off, by the way.
No, because they're unlocked.
Yes, that's true. Why are they unlocked?
I don't know.
We created an Autolib car graveyard before, but this surpasses anything we've encountered. These cars are fully functional, in perfect condition, and there are hundreds of them.
Probably the hazard lights.
But no.
It's crazy, huh?
A car and a van just pulled in over there. Let's leave like we were never here. Let's get out of here. They're giving us weird looks, huh?
In the second part of the video, an urban explorer will join us to share a creepy story about this. The software in these cars was so faulty that once a car caught fire during an accident and prevented the passengers from getting out. That's really serious.
Maybe that's the issue with electric cars. They become unreliable after an accident.
On the way there, we were already very stressed since the cemetery we wanted to explore might no longer exist. Because the city we're going to is the one where we spent the most time searching for cemeteries, and every time they were all destroyed within 2 years at most.
So we arrive on site, and lucky for us, all the cars are still there, so we park discreetly among the other cars and start the exploration right away.
When we arrive, we notice two things among the electric cars. First, there's the Build Your Dreams E5, a car we saw a lot of in the first electric car graveyard. Why is this car abandoned so much? Does it really have a serious problem? Despite reading many articles, we still haven't found the answer.
And the second thing is even more shocking. Some types of cars are practically brand new, still wrapped in plastic and with less than 50 kilometers on the odometer. Seeing that, we were really shocked.
We might wonder why there are so many brand new electric vehicles abandoned, and you'll see, the answer is shocking. In fact, to benefit from government subsidies, companies that sell electric vehicles have to make a certain number of sales. Sometimes they can't meet the quota or sell enough cars, so they make extra cars, pretend to sell them, and abandon them while claiming they're sold. All of this is just to artificially inflate the numbers and benefit from government subsidies.
You couldn't even imagine this is possible. It sounds like something out of Black Mirror.
That's exactly it. In fact, they're building cars just to abandon them, just to have higher numbers on a simple piece of paper. So all those cars you see there recorded as sold, well, actually those are fake sales. They'll never be available to customers and will remain abandoned. So these companies use industrial parks or old forests to store their vehicles in large numbers, basically creating giant dumps under the guise of fake commercial performance. But the problem, you know, is that China is a very opaque country. They don't share much. So we don't see this because China only shows what they want. And for them, they're the number one in electric vehicles in the world. It's an environmental crime, especially since lithium extraction is highly polluting and controversial worldwide.
On one hand, there are children working in mines in horrible conditions with many human rights being completely violated, and this happens every day.
Additionally, extracting lithium or cobalt for these cars is highly polluting for the earth. So on one hand, China pollutes a lot by making these electric cars, but on the other hand, it pollutes even more by abandoning them.
Because in these cars, there are lots of non-recyclable materials and chemicals that are out in the open and not managed by anyone. We've seen that some cars are starting to be completely overrun by vegetation. And all of this, we have no idea where it might lead.
If you think this is new or hasn't happened in China, think again. They've already done this with bicycles. A few years ago, China offered huge subsidies to anyone who could mass-produce bicycles to benefit Chinese citizens. The problem is that a lot of companies took advantage of this and produced a huge number, millions and millions, and after a while, there were too many. All these bicycles were abandoned out in the open because nobody knew what to do with them.
You might see drone footage of cemeteries of brightly colored bikes, since each one there is a different color. And the cemeteries stretch for miles and miles with piles of bikes maybe 10 meters high. It's really very impressive and once again, very shocking. We're back for the second part of this video, in a cemetery that's much bigger than the first one. We're not alone. We're with another explorer, Burbex, who came with us here, an explorer who's been exploring in China for 20 years. There are a lot of cars here that have been around much longer. In the first part, we saw some from 2024 here. We have cars from 2020 to 2021.
Man, look, all the cars behind you are just like the ones we found in the first cemetery. They're all Build Your Dreams E5, so...
It just goes to show there was an overproduction of all these cars. I think we should move a bit further in because there might be security over there. And all these cars, which are almost new, have already been used. This time, some of them have license plates.
The ones in front are entirely new.
They're really beautiful. Oh, wow. Here you can see there are still a lot of them in the thick vegetation.
Yeah, but see, those ones are really lush.
Yeah, man, they have an iPad. Well, not an iPad, but a big tablet.
And those ones, they're all brand new. We're still exploring vehicle graveyards, which look similar to the first ones we found. There's an electric charging station nearby, so we can't really open them up in front of it. Because we can open these cars, and I think we're going to open some of them to see what they look like inside.
The one in the small bush there?
Ah, that one looks really old, and I'm very curious to open it. Unlike the first vehicle graveyard we found, where all the cars had license plates, these ones don't have any plates, and the black cars and the grey cars in front, which are much more luxurious, don't have plates either, so that means they were abandoned when they were new. That's the true mystery of these vehicle graveyards. We don't have all the answers yet. You'll find them in the video.
Some are completely hidden in the vegetation and much more damaged, as you can see by the trunk. We just found another one here. We'll see one just over there, and I think that one opens very easily.
That one is in terrible disrepair. They're brand new and much more luxurious, abandoned without ever being driven. You can even see the plastic film still on them.
Wait, look, and there, the papers on the seats.
It's really crazy to see all these cars here. Just to put things into context, we drove for 3 hours with Burbex, the explorer who's with us. He's really nice, by the way, and he didn't even know if this was still here, actually. Because things change quickly. Gabriel and I searched for several, but they were demolished, so it was tough. Someone's behind me. So being able to find this electric vehicle graveyard here is really awesome, and they have an impressive history. You should know that there are really two types of vehicles. So there are all these white cars that are exactly the same as the ones we found in the first graveyard we explored, except here, the difference is that there are more cars that have never been used and were abandoned right away. And those ones, well, sometimes it's for reasons that can be really dark. And here again, these are just cars that don't have license plates. And you can see inside, there are still plastic covers on all the seats. So these are cars that have never been used. All these grey cars here, which are all electric, are abandoned with batteries inside that are worth a lot of money. This vehicle in front of you has batteries weighing at least 600 kilos each, made from non-recyclable mined lithium, causing environmental issues. You can still see the DD logo on the front. So we could assume that all the cars, all the vehicles that are here actually belong to a company and were abandoned here for a reason that we don't know for now. To get back to exploring these electric vehicles, after a while, our presence attracted the interest of the people who were nearby. They drove to us and spoke aggressively in Chinese, demanding we delete everything on the camera and telling us to leave. We quickly realized they didn't want us to reveal what was happening.
They even asked us who had sent us there. Of course, we didn't answer. We just hid the secure digital card and slowly backed away to get back to our car so we could escape with all these very valuable images.
So, we wanted to show you a bit of what can be hidden in China because we think it's absolutely outrageous and it's something that nobody shows.
Because China does everything to hide it, and even everything that happens in the cities over there, everything is done to keep it hidden so that nobody knows about it. All of this is just to keep up the facade of China and being #1 in electric in the world. But when you know the reality, it's not really the same thing.
It kind of reminds us of something that happened in France a few years ago. The hoteliers about whom we were able to release a video that's no longer available, but it really made us think of that event.
We wanted to show you what was happening on the other side of the globe, things you might not see. For me, China is rapidly destroying the earth and we can't stop it.
Feel free to tell us in the comments what you think about this whole scandal. Also, don't hesitate to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see all the upcoming videos about China. We'll see you next Saturday at 6 p.m. for a new experience with some classics. This was Gabriel and Corentin. Bye.